just one more video, just 10 more minutes. Suddenly, it's 1 a.m., you're exhausted, you know tomorrow's going to be rough, and you do it anyway. I did this for 2 years before I even knew there was a name for it. In this video, I'm going to show you the reasons we do this and 5 practical ways to break the cycle. No guilt required. Ready? Here we go. The term sounds dramatic, and kind of is. It's called revenge bedtime procrastination. Now that's a psychological mouthful. Revenge bedtime procrastination is basically when we stay up late, even when we're exhausted, even when we have somewhere to be tomorrow, but because it feels like it's the only time that belongs to us. This concept became widely discussed in China, where people use this phrase to describe staying up late specifically to reclaim personal time after long, demanding, over-controlled days. And the word revenge isn't about being angry at another person. It's revenge against some invisible force, or it's revenge against the day itself. The to-do list, the obligations, and the relentless demands of our days. The dark irony? The person paying the price for that revenge is you. Well, future you, right? The version of you who has to wake up in 5 hours or less. That person is suffering so that the current you can have 2 hours of scrolling. And here's the thing. The core need underneath it isn't bad. It makes complete sense. When your day is packed with work, responsibilities, other people's expectations, other people's needs, somewhere around dinner time you realize, hey, none of this day was mine. None of it was for me. I showed up for everything and everyone else except myself. So nighttime becomes the reclaiming of territory. That 2-hour window between today and tomorrow becomes sacred. It's that little bubble we crawl into, just us, our phone, the TV, the iPad. It's quiet, and we are finally able to breathe. So we scroll, we watch, we think, we rest in our own way. And none of those things are inherently bad. But when we do them in exchange for sleep, when we trade tomorrow's health for tonight's peace, that's when the revenge turns on us. We ruin tomorrow trying to take back what today stole from us. Okay, I told you I learned this phrase because I was deep in it and didn't even know it. Well, for a couple of years, I was going through a major life transition, and I was in full doing mode, working constantly, building, producing, creating, moving, and rest. It felt like a betrayal of my own goals. Like if I wasn't doing something, I was falling behind on the life I was building. So what would happen is I'd get to 10 or 11 at night, finally run out of the thinking ability to do anything. And instead of going to sleep, I'd say, I just need a minute. Just one show, just a little space, just a little me time. So I'd start a TV series at 11 o'clock, just one episode, and then one more. And then, that one is a cliffhanger. And so I'll just watch a little bit more of the next episode. And then suddenly it's 1 a.m. or 3 a.m. and I have a 9 a.m. class to teach. And here's the kicker, because this is where it becomes the cycle. I'd wake up tired, so the day felt harder, which meant I felt even more starved for personal time, which meant that night I stayed up even later trying to reclaim it. I was stealing me time by destroying tomorrow me. When I finally found the phrase revenge bedtime procrastination, I felt discovered. I also felt a little called out, but it mostly made sense. So why do we choose this? Revenge bedtime procrastination almost always shows up when our days feel overfull, over-controlled, or emotionally draining. And at its root, it's about one thing: autonomy. And autonomy just means the ability to govern yourself, to be able to make your own choices. Is that feeling of, I am in charge of my own life. For most of us, during the day, autonomy is the thing that keeps getting quietly borrowed without ever being returned. Your boss needs this, your client needs that, your kids need dinner, the inbox needs a response, the project needs attention, the dog needs a walk. All of that might be chosen, purposeful, and even good, but it still comes at a cost. And that cost is slowly accumulating a feeling of, I haven't gotten to just be me today. And so nighttime is where we finally hand ourselves permission to choose something for us. Even if that choice is staying up way past what's healthy, well, especially then, because doing it feels like freedom. It feels like proof that I have decided things around here. But here's what's important to understand. This isn't really about the entertainment. It's about agency. It's about being in that little bubble between yesterday and tomorrow where just for a second, absolutely nothing is required of you. How many times have you said this to yourself? I need this, or I deserve this. And you know what? You're not wrong. You do need it, and you probably deserve it. But you just found it in the most expensive place possible. You're borrowed against tomorrow's health. And here's something that might seem alarming, and I don't want to scare you, but this information is important because I really want you to understand what's actually at stake here. I came across a study once where researchers took 10 people of average weight and tested them for diabetes markers at the start. Then they split the group. 5 people got 7 to 9 hours of sleep for 5 nights. The other 5 hours of sleep or less per night for 5 nights. At the end of those 5 nights, the sleep-deprived group were already showing markers for diabetes. Not diabetes itself, but the markers of it. Their bodies were under enough stress that the warning signals were already there. And when they started sleeping normally again, the markers disappeared. And that's just 5 nights. Sleep, my friend, is not just rest, it's recovery. It's where your cells repair, your bone marrow rebuilds, your muscles regenerate. It's where your brain files and consolidates memory, which is why you forget things when you're sleep deprived. It's where your emotional regulation resets, which is why everything feels bigger, harder, and more irritating when we're tired. So when you skip sleep, you're not just tired. Your body is under stress. And prolonged stress creates illness. And there's also an emotional piece to this that doesn't get talked about enough. Sometimes we don't stay up because we want to watch something. We stay up because the day never gave us a single moment to pause. Maybe you spent the entire day responding, solving, supporting, working, thinking. And in all of it, nobody, including you, asked, hey, how are you doing? And then nighttime arrives, and for the first time all day, things slow down. The noise fades, your body stops performing, and that slowing, it feels so valuable. Because it is. So we stretch it just a little longer, just a little more time in this moment that actually feels like it's your life and you're living it on purpose. And then the clock says 1 a.m. and the cycle starts again. Here's what I really want you to hear. The need underneath this behavior is real. The craving for quiet, for space, for a moment that's yours. It's not weakness. It's not a flaw. That's human. And that's a human being saying, I need to exist for a second. The question is then, how do we meet that need in a way that doesn't cost us everything? Here are 5 tips to break the cycle. No guilt required. Tip number 5, ask a different question at night. This one costs nothing and takes about 10 seconds. When you find yourself at midnight reaching for the phone or negotiating with yourself for just one more episode, instead of asking, why can't I just go to bed? Which is a shame loop that gets absolutely nowhere. Ask this instead. What do I feel like I didn't get today? That's it. Just ask. Most of the time, the answer is quiet. And it's something like freedom, a moment that was mine, connection with myself, rest that didn't have purpose attached to it. And sometimes, honestly, a lot of the time, just naming the behavior starts to dissolve the behavior because you realize, oh, I'm not actually craving another episode. I'm craving to feel like a person again, to have autonomy. And this helps you be present with you, your life, and the energies of your life, and just that starts to create relaxation. Tip number 4, lower the pressure to be perfect about this. I know. Someone out there just said, but Donnielle, I really need to fix my sleep cycle. And yes, we do. But perfection isn't the path there. Here's the truth. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. Pun intended. You don't need a complete sleep system redesign. You don't need to go to bed at 9 p.m. tonight or tomorrow. Start with 15 minutes earlier. Just 15 minutes. That's it. What happened when you go to bed 15 minutes earlier 3 nights in a row? Your body feels it. You feel it. You feel that small shift, and that tiny win creates the momentum to do it again and again. And slowly, the rhythm changes. Progress over perfection, always. A small, real shift beats a perfect plan that you never actually follow. Tip number 3, create small pockets of personal time during the day. Here is something that completely changed my relationship with my evenings. When I started building tiny moments of mine or me time into my actual day, not big chunks, just small pockets, I stopped feeling desperate at nighttime. 5 minutes of a slow walk with no podcast playing or just entertainment playing, or a quiet cup of coffee where I'm just drinking coffee and communing with nature. A few minutes of sitting outside before I open my laptop. Nothing productive, nothing performative, just existing. And what this does is it starts to fill up the autonomy cup during the day so it doesn't run bone dry by 11 p.m. Because think about it. Revenge bedtime procrastination is essentially delayed autonomy. You're not getting what you need during the day, so you're taking it at night. But if you even get a little of it during daylight hours, the urgency of the night softens. And this may feel uncomfortable or awkward at first, but trust me, it changes things. You don't have to steal the night when you've already given a few minutes of the day. Tip number 2. Build a transition ritual before bed. Think about how we put children to bed. Bath, brush teeth, in bed, maybe a story, lights out. Same routine every night. And you know what that does? It trains their nervous system that the day is ending. It's a time of transition from day of action into night of sleep. And their body starts to wind down because it knows what comes next. So, when exactly did we decide that this was only for children? Because your nervous system needs a signal as well. We're not robots. We don't have an on-off switch. And if you go from full speed, screen, stimulation, conversation, thinking, directly to trying to sleep, your brain doesn't know what just happened. It's still at full brightness and action. It's like, let's go, right? So build a ritual. 20 to 30 minutes is ideal, and it doesn't have to be elaborate. Here are some quick options that could work. dim the lights in your room. Your brain reads darkness as a signal to produce melatonin, so give it that cue. Light stretching, gentle movement, or even journaling. Even just 3 sentences about your day gets the thoughts out of your head and onto a page, so they stop circling at 2 a.m. Reading an actual book, not on your phone, not a screen, just pages. And something I've been doing lately that I love is called bilateral stimulation. I know that name sounds intense and counterproductive, stimulation, but it's not. It's actually a gentle rhythmic technique that helps reset your nervous system. 10 minutes of it and I feel my whole body exhale and relax. And then the urge and the need to stay up late disappears. And luckily you can find many videos of it on YouTube. Check it out. So the goal here is simple. You're giving your brain a runway to slow down before you try to sleep. You're not going from 60 to 0. You're coasting, you're winding down. And if you're someone who just says, I just can't seem to turn off my brain at night, this is why. Your brain has been running at full speed all day, and you've done nothing to signal that it can slow down. And then you wonder why it won't stop. Give it the transition. It'll thank you. Tip number 1, redesign your day before you try to redesign your night. This is the most important one. Everything else on this list is beautiful, useful, and I mean every word. But this one is the root. Because here's what revenge bedtime procrastination is really telling you. Your waking hours needs more of you in them. Not more productivity, not more optimization or organization, more you. More moments where you feel like you're a person who has agency over their own life. More choices that belong to you, more breathing room. So instead of only looking at your bedtime, look at your whole day. Ask, where can I build in a moment that's genuinely mine? Where can I say no to one thing so I can say yes to myself? Where am I running so hard for everyone else that by 10 p.m. I'm an empty shell of a person holding a phone? Because when your days include space for you, even small pockets, 5 minutes, the night no longer has to carry the entire weight of your freedom. When the day belongs to you, you don't have to steal it at night. And that, my friends, is the real fix. Everything else supports it. Revenge bedtime procrastination is not a failure. It's not laziness. It's not you being dramatic or undisciplined. It's a signal. It's information. It's your whole self saying, I need more space to just be me in my own life. And tonight, if you catch yourself reaching for your phone at midnight, negotiating for even one more episode, pause. Not to judge yourself, just to get curious. Ask, what do I need right now? And how might I start giving it to myself a little earlier in the day? That question, consistently asked, gently shifts everything. Thank you so much for exploring this with me. This one is genuinely close to my heart because I lived it dynamically. And I think a lot of you are living it right now and don't know that it's not a flaw of your personality. It's energy and science. And if you want more videos like this, please subscribe, like, and share with another late night friend who can't sleep. Check out this video right here for more mindset shifting tips and tricks. And until we play again, keep creating a life and a night of sleep that inspires you every day to live it. I'll see you soon.